Hey, welcome back to the Caribou Data Science channel on YouTube. This evening's session is I'm not sure how long or short it's going to be, but it's going to be about SQL, and we're going to look at try to do some data analysis using Microsoft SQL Server 2019 to analyze last week's Tidy Tuesday data set, which has to do with European flight data. Okay, so let's open up our number here. Tidy Tuesday is a weekly data science contest hosted on GitHub. And they basically come up with someone's basically contributes a data set, and then people go out and try to see what you can do with it. Okay. And we could also, of course, use VS Code, right? Let's just take a look here. Okay. Tidy Tuesday, new query. Let's just Tidy Tuesday. Let's just do a quick select star from Euroflights. So the year the flight took place, the month it took place, the month, December. So here says 12/20/22, right? But we come over here, state name Belgium. Okay. So the first thing we could do, we could do a count by date. Okay. So let's do a cast. Let's just see if this works. This does give us the date. All right, so we can come up here then. Let's do a group by. Okay. So you can see that the flights 268, 262, 255. Oh, so we got a collection of 2,434 dates. Okay. So is it possible to calculate the min flight count and the max flight count? Let's redo this. Can we do amend the counts? Okay. What we can do is we can do an order descending. Will this work? So we got a minimum of 186 flights on 4/24/2022. So what we got here is a decline in flights, obviously in the height of the pandemic. Okay, well the flights did start to pick back up here. What about let's do a descending. So the flights began to pick back up in 2021. Interesting. There's a 2019 is 320. Okay, good. All right. So that's helpful. Okay. That gives us a little bit of information there. Hero flights again. State name. So we can do a count by state. Flight departures, flight arrivals. So this must mean so this could be the number of flight departures and number of flights. So does this mean on December 13th of 2020, uh, there were 12 flights departing Belgium and 11 flights arriving? Is that what that means? Okay, so let's just do a count of the number of rows that contains statement. So this is the total. This is the total flights. So this means there's 42 different countries listed here. Interesting enough, Italy and Germany had the most number of flights. This is kind of curious. Ukraine, Armenia. Let's do an order by state counts. Mm-hmm. So France and Spain had the most flights. This is correct. So this would be the count of the number of rows by country. Not necessarily. So this is the count: 138,694 flights for the whole data set. Okay. What's the minimum max? What's the minimum maximum range? It's 2013. That's December 13th, 2020 is the first date. 5/30/2022. Okay. So it was, what was it again? 20. So that's May 30th, 2022 to December 31st, 2015. Okay. 2015. So this would be the total for 6 years worth of data. And this would be the total number of flights by date. Maybe not the flights, but the count by dates. So what happened if we did calculated the number of flights and the number of departures okay, So this is flights total. Okay. Let's just do flight. Let's start flight depth. One. We're going to do sum. State name. So departures by state and arrivals by state. 42 rows. Exploratory data analysis. Okay. I suppose this is good. We have this nice balance here, right? Oh, that's interesting. No, the numbers are actually very close for both arrivals and departures, aren't they? That's interesting. Okay, good, good. Now at this point, we haven't really, done anything by date. Okay, we we could count. We did a count up here, right? But what we could do, we could come down here and we could do total flights. We could do uh, arrivals and departures by flight date. Okay. Date. and group by flight date. Now we have the total number of flights by day. Hmm. Well, we did look at state names. We didn't actually look at total departures and arrival flights by country. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's take let's do an order by state name and date. Okay. Now, this isn't bad EDA. It's as far as exploration. Consider the fact we don't actually know what some of the columns actually mean. Uh, but anyways, that's a 24-minute session. Uh, 24 is close enough to 30. But again, what we doing here is the important thing here is basic EDA, basic exploratory data analysis. I'd say this is part one. Part two would be to actually move on to actually create some views maybe, and then maybe take some of this data, pull it into Excel, pull it into Power BI, and do some exploratory data analysis and do some data visualizations that way. But we do learn some interesting things. We learned what did we learn? Well, we learned first of all we came back up here, and we just did a count of the number of rows by day. And I'm not sure how useful it is because each row contains a total number of uh, of arrivals and departure flights by date for a particular location, okay, a particular country, even a particular city. Okay, that's what this shows us. Not, and again, we come down here and we do a by date. We come down here. We do another count flight. We do it by flight count, by the flight count. And same basic data, except for sorting it by the flight count. And somebody's outside in the parking lot blasting their radio again. My guess is it's probably not a drug deal going down. Hopefully, it won't last too long. What's this up here then? State? Do we count the total number of? See, this here isn't necessarily helpful. Again, all we're doing is doing row counts by state name. Okay, this is more useful because we're actually counting the number of departures and the number of arrivals by state name. And then we come down here, and we're counting the number of arrival and departures, total arrivals and departures by date. Okay, and finally we come down here. We're doing a total count. We're doing we're calculating the total number of arrivals and departures by country and date. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave this off right here for you folks this evening. Hopefully you'll be able to again get some ideas of what EDA actually is and how sometimes it can be very simple, single table. It's just simply single table queries. Nonetheless, I hope you found this helpful. Questions, comments, always welcome in the description below. Okay.